the U.S. people here in the U.S. are getting a better view of what's going on in Israel. And part of it is due to social media, but part of it is due to people actually starting to speak out and say to others, hey man, this is exactly what's going on. So here's an interview of a Palestinian coming out and really calling it like it is and giving it to the interviewer at the same time. And he's going to talk about Israel. Here it is.
Your family home is slated for eviction. What is the scene right now?
Well, I thank you so much for having me. To start, it's not really an eviction. It's forced ethnic displacement, to be accurate, because an eviction implies legal authority, while the Israeli occupation has no legitimate jurisdiction over the eastern parts of occupied Jerusalem under international law.
How does it feel to have grown up with what you've called the anxiety of dispossession?
It feels familiar because this is what every Palestinian feels like under the crushing fangs of Israeli colonialism in Palestine. I think the myths of self-defense and both sides are growing more and more penetrable. People are being able to see through these myths and call an occupation for what it is and call an aggressor for what it is. I don't expect much of the Biden administration, knowing that Ned Price refused to even condemn the killing of 9 Palestinian children. Tells me all I need to know. Obviously, I would like the international community to hold Israel accountable under international law, but I also hope free people of the world do their part to push their governments.
Do you support the protests, the violent protests that have erupted in solidarity with you and other families in your position right now?
Do you support the violent dispossession of me and my family?
All right. So I have to agree. I love that. Damn. He just like, hey, do you agree with the fact that my family's being tortured and illegally moved out of our own area and illegally moved out of our homes and persecuted? I love how that lady, oh my God, what about the protest? Huh? Well, why are they so violent, huh? Do you support that? Well, do you support my persecution? Good on him. Now, unfortunately, Mohammed Al-Kurt, who's the one in the interview, got arrested the next day after that interview last week, and by the Israeli police, just to show you how corrupt they are, and to show you can't speak out. I'm surprised he didn't say, "Hey, you have to disguise me." I would, because I'm a truth teller and I'll speak out. I don't give a damn. But anyway, so he's saying a lot of good things. This is not an eviction. An eviction implies there's legal authority. This is Israel colonialism. This is occupation. This is the breaking of international law. This is international law being violated. And this kind of gets to me because it gives me a further. Now look, it's sad that he's been arrested. He's been arrested because he's an important writer and influencer and commentator for Palestinians, and I think he's just absolutely incredible. So sad that he has been arrested, but you know, this gives you a hope, a sense into the fact that there is no two-state solution. And I know I just discussed it in the last video, but there's no two-state solution, right? There's it's just a dialogue while Israel does their whole ethnically cleansing people and all that crap, right? And you know, I love what he said there, how he doesn't expect anything of Biden. He's got very low expectations, and he should have very low expectations, because Biden, right-wing hack Joe Biden, made this comment of, oh well, you know, Israel has the right to defend themselves because of thousands of rockets flying at them from every direction. Give me a break! Give me a break, man! Give me a break, Jack! Give me a break. Joe Biden. Hamas, his rockets aren't shit. They don't do jack. Israel's rockets, right? They've killed more than 58 children. They've killed more than 100 Palestinians altogether. Their rockets have killed more people, have destroyed more buildings. Their rockets are helped and made by U.S. manufacturers. They're backed by the U.S. So for Biden to be saying that, and by the way, for Biden to be saying that, It just shows you, of course, he should have no expectations for Joe Biden or lower expectations than anyone else. And by the way, he should have low expectations for his administration, where in the State Department, Ned Price, his spokesperson, refused to call out and condemn the killing of children. He refused to do it. So, okay, yeah, I would have very little confidence in Joe Biden. I would not consider him an ally. And, he's actually blocking a resolution in the UN, the United Nations, to condemn Israel's violence and to stop the bloodshed. So, this is far different than what Obama did. Obama, in the last days of his presidency, because he was trying to seem more left-wing than he actually is, he allowed a resolution to go through. Which basically says, okay, fine. We're okay with you condemning Israel's actions. But Joe Biden comes into office and wants to wipe his hands clean of this whole policy, but then you've got facts on the ground that support the fact that there's no two-state solution and the fact that Israel's not stopping, right? And, you've got this problem where you've got nobody doing checks and balances on Benjamin Netanyahu because he can't form a government. Therefore, he's now being forced to go all the way to the right, to the center right, and then all the way to the right. What you have is, him going there, and it's creating this problem where he's teaming up with even more extreme people who are upfront about wanting to do ethnic cleansing and moving the Muslims out and keeping the Jews in and to surround the Muslims with the all Jewish states. That's exactly what they're trying to do, and they're very upfront about it. And Benjamin Netanyahu is getting away with it because there's no checks and balances. You got Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, all those guys that claim to be doing something, that claim to want to say something about Israel doing what it's doing, and yet they ain't doing it. There's no way that they're doing it. And, you got competitors like Iran out of the way too. They're not anywhere near. Sorry, my watch. Nobody's there to stop him. Nobody's there to hold him accountable, and they're just breaking international law left and right. And they question, oh my God, why is it that the left is now against Israel? Well, there's one problem. Israel did this to themselves. They politicized themselves in our country because what they did was they openly came to the United States at the invitation of the Republican Congress to make speeches against the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. That's what they did, and it angered the left. And people said, no, we hate Israel. We hate the Israeli government. And so, you did this to yourself. So if you're complaining, oh my God, they're being unfair. Well, you did this to yourself. What else are we supposed to do? You made this happen. You did. And it just speaks to how much he can get away with, Benjamin Netanyahu, because no one's there doing anything about it. And it's honestly quite incredible. It is incredible. And another thing too that y'all gotta realize is, right, he just gets away with it. Benjamin Netanyahu thinks, I'm gonna do all these conflicts and it's gonna help me politically, which is disgusting. It's disgusting that you've got to use a conflict. You got to create a conflict to get reelected. It means you're not a good leader. It means you're a dictator. And, the last thing I'll say is the people in Israel don't really agree with their own government. You got people on the center left who don't agree with the settlements. They don't agree with the illegal occupations. They don't agree with the evictions. Or I like the way Mohammed El-Kurt put it, where he said, "Nah, this is just Israel colonialism." You know, they don't agree with any of that. And here in the United States, that was a recent position, just 30 years ago. 30 years ago. That was a huge position. That position in 1990 was the thing. Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton had it. But again, you get people, the Israel lobby, who bribe our politicians and pay them lots of money, a good load of money, buttloads of money, and they go with whatever they want. And then when you try and speak up about, you say anything about illegal settlements, ethnic cleansing, evictions, anything illegal evictions, the international law, the breaking of international law or international violations, you are called anti-Semitic, which is so stupid. So it's just annoying to see the Biden administration not doing anything about it. They're facing calls to do something. It's annoying to see Benjamin Netanyahu get away with it every single goddamn time, and he's never going to be held accountable for it, it looks like.